Okay, welcome to digitalworldcitizen.com. My name is Daniel Tadros. Today we'll talk about why I think bitcoins and cryptocurrency will bring more peace to this world. After this. Okay, welcome to digitalworldcitizen.com. Thanks for tuning in. Today we'll talk about why cryptocurrencies will bring peace to this world. So we've been using fiat currency money, dollar bills for the last many hundred years, and the way people are just programmed this century is to think that the dollars are necessarily controlled by the government. So when I have to buy oranges from the local fruit shop, there needs to be a government between me and the store. And we're trained that way to think the government has to be in the middle of all our transactions. And that is so false. We're just trained that way. It shouldn't be so. I mean, I should be able to buy anything I want without having a bank confirming something or a government confirming that what I'm doing is valid. But what's really changing now is that with the internet and the deployment of the web and Bitcoin, is that with the cryptography and these new concepts of blockchain, and we've been able to disintermediate trust. And so now all of a sudden we can do a transaction without having a bank in the middle, right in the middle. If there's a bank between everything that we do, and without having a government. So Bitcoin is actually the biggest civil deployment of cryptography ever done in the history of mankind. And so it allows us to trade without having a trusted middle person in between all of us. But we've been trained to think the governments need to be in the middle, and they don't. Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. The world has changed for good. It has changed forever, and Bitcoin is changing that. And how this will bring peace is that by having the governments in the middle of every single transaction, having them do the monetary policy, having them do everything, that we're subject to the whims of the politicians, the monetary policy of the country, the monetary policy of other countries. Bitcoin is actually a sovereign currency that is, the price is dictated by the citizens, by the use of I'm just fixing my hair here, by the use of the actual coin. So the more it's used, the more its value goes up. But especially it's free of any, it's not tied to gold, it's not tied to the US dollar, it's not tied to the stock market. It is a free sovereign currency that belongs to the population. That is, the trust is calculated mathematically by mathematics. We're protected by mathematics, and we're protected by this blockchain that is mined by the miners all over the world. We're relying on 150,000 people that are confirming this transaction without the middle layer of trust that previously our bank was providing for us, or even the country was providing for us. So this is a major innovation, guys, and the way this will bring peace, so I haven't gotten there, but this will bring peace because we're not funding the government anymore. We're not, the government is a great thing. I'm born in Egypt. I'm not born in Egypt. My parents are born in Egypt, moved here to Quebec to have a better life for their children. And it's fantastic what they did. RIP, both my parents. They did a great job raising all of us, but they came here for a better life from Egypt and to Quebec, Canada. And we do have a good life, but the government is really overtaxing us, is really too prominent with all this control over the monetary policy, control over the money, control over this, and this is not necessary anymore. It's not necessary to fund the government so that they go buy planes and go buy tanks and they go create wars, and sometimes they misuse the money. They're not accountable for much. Soon they will be accountable for everything through the blockchain, and I can't wait for that day so that my money is better used. But it will bring peace ultimately. It will free all the world's citizens to be more sovereign, more independent from their state, from their territories, from their country. It's removing the borders. And so with our movement, first of all, there will be more peace. We're a digitalworldcitizen.com, getting citizens to become digital citizens of the world, to join the movement of peace, of one nation, and all for the good reasons. We're doing it through music, we're doing it through YouTube, we're doing it through the goodwill. It's the coin of goodwill that you guys will embark in. Go on our site, digitalworldcitizen.com. So I think by giving less money, less tax money to the government, to play around with, without giving actual results, we're removing their power to go to war. We're removing the power for them to do things and fight between the countries and stuff like that. And with this new movement that we're starting, there are no borders. You can become a citizen of the internet, a digital world citizen of the sovereign internet. And this is what we're doing. And there'll be less wars. They're going to take care of our streets. They're going to take care of our police. They're going to take care of our firemen. They're going to have a bit less money, keep the money in our pockets a little bit more. And we're going to be supporting the new anarchists, the crypto anarchists, the nerds, the engineers that have a new vision for our world, that are now, a lot of them are millionaires and billionaires that got into cryptocurrency so early. So they are now funding their philosophies and their ideas, and they will change our world. So the old, in French, la vieille garde, the old powers that are there are being disrupted. And if you guys know about the Rockefellers that installed central banks in all the countries, I'll say only one thing about this, not a conspiracy theory, but one thing. The only places where there's no central banks right now is Iran, North Korea, previously Libya, Iraq. And what happened to Libya and Iraq? So the Rothschilds' central banking system is they go to war and they use the U.S. as their puppet, most powerful army in the world, because they control the money flow of the U.S. through the Federal Reserve, and they create wars. They're sometimes even funding both sides. This is a very conspiracy theory. I like to believe in some of that, but when you know the places that have no central banks, you realize, whoa, no central bank in North Korea. You know, they have a nuclear arm, so they're you know they're fighting this. But so central banks are once you control the money of a country, you control the country, and this is what's been happening all around the world for over 100 years now. We don't have to have banks. We don't have to have central banks. We don't have to have monetary policy, and we don't have to have wars. And cryptocurrency will change all of this. Embark into the journey, become a digital world citizen, become a Bitcoin ambassador. Definitely no other cryptocurrency will come close to Bitcoin. So guys, on that, peace. We'll talk to you.